Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sly, and I just rewatched the game today, and there was one guy in particular that actually stood out that really I haven't heard anyone really talk about. My favorite undrafted free agent this year, and that is undrafted rookie Drew Moss, and he kind of had like a hell of a game. I thought yesterday, he kind of mauling. I saw one play in particular where he mauled a dude. And I was like, all right, dude, that's what I saw at college. That's what I saw at Colorado State. Now, I remember watching a few games at Colorado State. I remember that big game in particular against Colorado, where it was such a huge game. With Shador and Dion versus the coach from Colorado State, who said some things, but it wasn't anything crazy. But yeah, they got all hyped up about it, and so everyone watched that game. And I just remember that offensive line from Colorado State. They were freaking manhandling that Colorado defense, just freaking moving guys from side to side. And the guy that led the charge was Drew Moss, man. I thought Drew Moss was absolutely fantastic when I saw him in college. And his PFF grade in college was really good too. And then so watching the game yesterday, he came in later in the game, but he looked really good, man. He looked the part, and his overall grade, I think he had the second best overall grade for offensive lineman. I think it was like 77.3, which was solid. But what stood out was his pass blocking ability. That's his bread and butter right there. And I think he had like an 83.7 grade. He was absolutely fantastic out there. So I was pumped up seeing that. So I'm looking at it. He's got to continue what he's doing in camp, in these preseason games, because he has a chance of making a roster spot. It could be somewhere, anywhere. But I'm looking at the Niners, and I'm thinking, if this dude performs the way he did, do not make the same mistake you made last year. We're desperate need for offensive linemen, even in the interior. And last year we just got rid of Jared Kingston like nothing, dude. Like nothing. Like, oh, we're going to get rid of him and keep Nick Zakow. And Nick Zakow, by the way, yesterday, he freaking sucked. Like, he was pathetic. He was one of the worst offensive linemen on the team. Couldn't pass block, couldn't run block, getting worked. And I'm like, dude, we really kept him instead of Kingston. Kingston, by the way, by the Panthers, had a badass game. I think his PFF rating was like almost 80. He was really good yesterday when he played. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, dude, enough with this BS politics stuff. We're seeing what's going on with Bradley, why he's on the damn team, stinking up the joint. I get it, Mordecai's no better, but Bradley should not have been on it. He should not be on a 90-man roster. But I think he's there because Gus Bradley's his son. So that's BS right there, and I'm sick of that crap. So Drew Moss, someone, again, in camp, we're hearing he's looking solid. Obviously, there's days right there where him and CJ West are going at it. CJ West gets the best on one play, then he comes right back and does his thing, stonewalls him. And then other plays with Valdez. I remember one day, I think Valdez went 4 for 5 on one-on-ones. The only guy that actually stopped him was Drew Moss. So he's coming along. It seems like he's getting better and better in camp. So he's someone I'm really excited about, man, watching him play, because we need guard. It's up for grabs. Well, look at it. It's Ben Bartch, is a cow. They're battling for a spot. After what happened yesterday, it's a no contest, man. Freaking, this is Ben Bartch's job. He actually had a solid day as well. I think he had the second best pass protection grade behind Drew Moss. But Nick Zakow was just pathetic. And this dude made the team, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I don't know what he has against Kyle Shanahan. Maybe it's because he's besties with Brock Purdy. Remember when Brock Purdy came up, it was the three dudes, the three amigos, they shared a dorm together, whatever. It was an apartment. It was Brock Purdy, Nick Zakow, and who was it? Gutierrez. Those three guys shared a freaking apartment together, and they're besties. They went to Brock's wedding. It's like, dude, I get it. He's best friends with Brock, but dude, this dude can't block. Like, this dude was getting eaten up yesterday. And so I don't want to hear where all of a sudden we're going to cut Drew Moss, he goes to another team, and then we keep Zakow. For what? What happens in preseason games? I want to see what happens when it's live action, when they're going up against each other, and let the better man win. That's all I got to say about that. It's simple. And Drew Moss yesterday, he looked the part, man. Like he was looking like what I was watching when he was at Colorado State. And I know it's way too early, but a guy that I looked at, like at least his body frame, how he looked and how he played kind of a little violently. He reminded me of, who remembers Richard Incognito? Like he looked like Richard Incognito. Not the bullying part, not where he's bullying dudes, like going crazy, acting a fool. I'm talking about just as a player. He kind of reminds me of that, you know, a little bit of Incognito, just the violence he plays with on the field, you know. And the one that's violent is actually probably his brother-in-law. I mean, his father-in-law, Brock Lesnar, because he's dating the daughter. But as far as the player, man, he looked good out there. He looked violent, nasty, and I loved it. I was watching and I was like, this is why he was my favorite dude as the undrafted free agent, just because he has that streak to him that we just right now we don't have. Like we don't have that guy that's freaking wants to get down and dirty, makes a mistake but learns from his mistake. You know, again, I remember that play in one-on-ones where freaking CJ West got the best of him. And I don't know if he picked him up or did some crap. And I was like, fudge, that's, but then we heard the next time they went at it, freaking Drew Moss, I don't know, he got pissed or what, he freaking stonewalled his ass. Like, no, not again, dude. Like, he learned from his mistake. And against who was it? When the scrimmage, the Thursday practice with the Denver Broncos, I was hearing his name a little bit called up. Like, oh, he actually was really impressive against the Denver guys. And he proved it again in the game. So that's one guy who I'm looking at right now. How many days? We got 2-3 weeks left till cut day. He's someone that he intrigues me, man. He really does. And again, if he performs the way he does against the Raiders and who else, the Chargers, like, what are we going to say? Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to just freaking cut him and him get picked up by another team and keep someone that probably doesn't deserve to be on the team? I mean, that right there, I mean, we've done it all under this regime, man. Like from guys like Deshaun Jameson, Quandrez Knight, who should have stayed on the team. It was like, because you want to keep your boys, and I don't know, man. We'll see how it plays out, continues to play out. But yeah, he looked good, man. He looked the part. Even Connor Kobe, who was kind of, you know, he got beat up the worst, I think, out of all the offensive linemen during camp. What was he, like a 6th, 7th round pick? But he actually looked really good too, which I was like, oh shoot, okay. Like I love to see it. That's what's most important too in game action. How are you gonna do with the pads on, under the bright lights? How are you gonna perform? That's the main thing you look at. And he looked good too. So both those guys were impressive. I know our starters, offensive linemen from Burford, Zakal, those guys got worked. Was it Pleasant? I forgot the right tackle. He didn't look impressive either. So it's like a lot of dudes, especially the starters, were looking horrible out there. So a lot of these young cats, though, they didn't get the praise that they deserved. Kobe Kiner, he had some nice holes, and a lot of it had to do with these offensive linemen, these young cats that were giving them some holes out there. So we'll see how it goes, man. But very excited to see my boy Drew Moss get in the action there. That was really cool to see, and hopefully he keeps it up, man, because right now we are desperate for offensive linemen. And if we have a good offensive lineman in the building, don't just get rid of them. Like, don't do that crap anymore. I don't like that. So that's what I got, man. Let me know what you thought of Drew Moss. If you guys saw him out there doing his thing later on in the game when he came up, he performed well. So that's what I got, man. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.